Hey, good afternoon, folks. August 3rd, we are here for another U.S. Olympic basketball recap. This time it's on the men's side of things. We got Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., I'm Wilson Turpey Jr. Look, Ant Edwards exploded for 26 points. USA sprinting by Puerto Rico 104-83. We knew after that last tough game they had, who they, who they played last game because now I cannot think, of course.
Who the man? South Sudan?
Yeah, South Sudan. After the game against South Sudan, they qualified to advance to the quarterfinal. So this was just the game to finish out the group play stage. So they were already through, regardless of the result. That said, they did take care of business. We did see Ant Edwards go crazy, 26 points, 11-15 from the floor. The only thing that young man did wrong was missed 3 free throws. That was literally the only thing. But Ray, want to start with you. Just your thoughts on USA kind of taking care of business after overcoming somewhat of a slow start against Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that second unit is just unfair. Just to put it frankly, yeah, they came in and just blew the game wide open. Starting with Ant Edwards, it's just you already got enough to deal with the starters, but then for that second mob to come in with with the firepower they have, and they just seem to fit. They work well off each other, and they just hit them with a barrage, and Puerto Rico wasn't able to recover. This is what it should look like as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, this is the dominance that Team USA should display on a game by game basis. They just kind of got through that early stage, and they are pretty much in the flow now. Not having KD there until they got to the Olympics. I mean, it's not hard to work him in, but just to have that type of nuclear weapon just kind of dropped in the middle, it changes things. So yeah, it's just good to see them kind of rounding the form. They only put Puerto Rico on the line 6 times. They created a lot of turnovers. They defended well and offensively, yeah. And he had 26, but it was a lot of wealth spread around. So just playing Team USA basketball, man, and I expect to continue into the medal rounds. Yeah, this is what it should look like, as I said. So I hope it continues. I don't have any doubt that it'll continue. When they match up against teams that kind of have things that go against their weaknesses, so to speak, that's when we're going to see if they can, pull together and still be dominant, because no team can match up with them all around. But there are some other teams that that present them with some challenges, but they should still be just as dominant as they were today.
Cardell, your take on it?
Yeah, the game was won in the second quarter. Puerto Rico came out feisty, obviously nothing to lose, down 0-2. Being pesky, trying to just use their speed, which was really their only, I guess you could say, advantage to deal with a much bigger, more versatile USA team and deeper USA team. But once the USA calmed down, got adapted to their speed or whatnot, and really clamped down defensively, it was over. And that's what you saw in the second quarter. Their defense kind of fed into the offense. You saw KD obviously continue to do what he's been doing, but then Ant-Man, just looking like Ant-Man, just be honest, what I mean? They try to get Embiid and AD and Bam going, but Puerto Rico was kind of just swarming them, doing what everybody else has been doing, trying to do at least, trying to make them a shooting team. They haven't really shot a lot of threes, but they've shot them eventually just enough where it draws you back out, and then they can just to pick you apart by moving the ball. And then, for Puerto Rico to be so small, this was really their only chance. They had to kind of help the bigs out and just give up the least efficient shot, which is the jumper. Problem is, USA got a lot of dudes that can get buckets, including, KD, who I feel is the best scorer in the league, and Ant-Man's not far behind him. So you got them guys going, LeBron bringing the ball up court, just, facilitating, getting those guys shots when they need them, feeding AD and Bam. You know, Bam only scored one, but AD, Bam, and then B, when they were open inside, it just created a balanced attack that, to be honest, I'm not quite sure any team can deal with. So for USA, it's just a matter of just not hurting themselves, turning the ball over, and not coming into games BSing and not playing defense and stuff and giving teams life. They come in with a sense of urgency every game and defend and don't hurt themselves as far as, like I said, turnovers and whatnot. Man, they're definitely talent. The way they score the ball is just going to eventually overwhelm teams. You know, that's what you pretty much saw today. You know, Puerto Rico had the lead 29-25, only scored 16 in the second quarter, 14 in the third. Game over. You see what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the U.S., they scored 62 in over the second and third quarters. That was it. So that's what I mean by when their defense clamps down on you, it's over because they're going to get out and run. Obviously, no one can really run with them. And even in the half court, the way they've been moving the ball, with they have 30 assists. They had 30 assists to 11 turnovers. Yeah, 30 assists to 11 turnovers. Come on, that's a crazy ratio. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it ain't much you can do. It's just not much you can do, man. Sometimes, man, I remember Chris Bosh back in the day when Kobe gave him 81. He said, sometimes you just got to take your ass whooping like a man. And that's what you saw tonight, man. You know, you just go out and just continue to compete till the clock says zero. But all in all, they did what they should do.
Yeah, and you talk about that 30 assists, man. They had 30 assists on 40 made field goals. You talk just to piggyback on what you said, talk about only 11 turnovers. 30 assists on 40 made field goals is ridiculous. So you only had 10 field goals that did not require an assist. The ball was moving. Also, taking a just broader look at Olympic history as a whole on the USA side of things, Kevin Durant is closing in on a very big record. I believe he is 4 points shy of passing the great Lisa Leslie and becoming the U.S. all-time leading scorer in points scored for the Olympic team for the USA, men's and women's. Lisa Leslie at 488 points. KD is 4 points shy of that again, so just one shout out Lisa Leslie. That record still for quite a bit. I don't think anybody's surprised that somebody like KD getting close to it. We know the run Melo had, where Melo was going crazy for a couple years for Team USA. Which shout out to him for that as well. But as you guys said, man, they did what you're supposed to do in this type of situation. So, job well done. And I got to ask you, man, but how about this? I'm just going to put his picture up here instead of asking the question. So here, how about this? I'm not going to do it today.
There you go.
That works.
Anthony, cool. Man. Anthony Edwards, yep.
Man, I hate asking it when it's just painfully obvious. It's the guy. Okay, this is what happened. The guy, when they paused the windmill and we all looked at it and they went at 360 degrees, look at the windmill. X factor for you guys tonight.
I gotta go with LeBron because he facilitated that second quarter run where, he where they blew the game wide open. He used to orchestrate everything, getting those guys involved, getting the bigs going with the balance. He was leading the balance attack as far as facilitating, and him and Embiid inside. When AD came in and bam, those guys inside, making sure there were no easy shots inside, and they was grabbing the rebounds. It was one shot and done for Puerto Rico, and they was getting out and running. That's why it got ugly after that. You know what I mean? So, but hey, he was the one kind of facilitating all that. It was just like for Puerto Rico, I'm pretty sure it was just like trying to guard 10 people on the court at once because everybody was hitting at the same time. It's just like who you key in on. And that's the problem all the rest of the country's got to face as this Olympics continues.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Like when he gets into that mode, we usually see these stretches. I don't even think he should even bother looking to score because he's the best facilitator on the team. So if he just falls back into that first, and of course, he's going to score within the course of the game. But especially once the game starts to get up and down, because the huge advantage with athleticism. If he just looks to set the table, then it's nothing no team can do. So I think he's just the X factor in general for Team USA.
Yeah, I agree with you both. I also think today was probably a big step in the right direction. I'm gonna keep mentioning the turnovers just in terms of him getting more comfortable with what's around him as well. And obviously best facilitator on the team, like you mentioned, Ray, but just kind of finding that right balance. Because obviously, if you're going to be the one pulling the strings or whatever, you got to figure out the best thing that works for everybody around you too. So we started to see more people kind of get involved a little bit more. We saw Tatum get a little bit more comfortable today. I think he finished with a double-double, which was good to see. But like that's the thing. Like that's the scariest part about this. I know we keep like praising that second unit, but like the starters are behind the second unit in terms of like that fit and chemistry to a degree. That second unit, and that's what makes it crazy. That second unit, like they fit like a glove, regardless. Like the Drew Holiday, Derek White part is interchangeable, but those other four, like Cardell, you mentioned, like Bam and AD, you asking them to just play off Ant and Kev. That's easy money.
Yeah.
Ant and Kev have no issue once they get going and drawing attention, passing the ball, and you asking two very good finishers to finish.
I mean,
Once I start making a mess, like, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's confidence. You know what that guy can do. He did it against you. You know what I'm saying? So when you pass the ball, you already know what it can be. You know what I mean? So you're not as worried as maybe, you know, you might have somebody, a fringe guy during the season. You may not be sure. You got to go get it back or whatnot or force up a tough shot. But you also got to keep this in mind. Like you said, the second unit, most Olympic years, they could easily be the starting lineup and you're good with it. But when they're coming in the game, they're going against other countries second units.
Right.
And those guys, maybe some youngins that's coming up, never came close to the NBA level, just long time, great overseas play, which is nothing wrong with that. But you're dealing with the cream of the crop in the NBA. And that second unit, man, when they come in, it's just like, there's no relief. If you think about it, Tyrese Halliburton is getting the least amount of minutes and whatnot, and he's an all-star. You know what I'm saying? I believe, he led the league in assists last year. See what I'm saying? 20-plus points a game and stuff like that. So, hell of a point guard. And I'm pretty sure he'd be like, hold on. I can facilitate a little bit too, man. But he ain't, I'm going to just play my role right now. You know what I'm saying? But there's no relief, man. So, again, for a team to beat this team, they're going to have to play just lights out basketball for 40 minutes and be tough. And be tough as hell, man. And guys that normally you wouldn't expect to play a certain way, they're going to have to play out their minds. Because that's how, back in the day, I know they was mentioning on the broadcast, Puerto Rico got them years ago. Because everybody's playing out their mind, led by Carlos Arroyo, just lighting them boys up, pick and roll, get into the lane, threes. It was coming from all over, and it didn't stop. You see what I'm saying? So, you can say that U.S. team was BS and they didn't fit and all that. Regardless, they still had all NBA players on there. And the standard for USA basketball should never lose. So that's the predicament that I'm pretty sure as teams been watching from afar or up close. They know, like, in the middle stage, they're going to have to figure something out. They're going to have to really do that, you know what I'm saying, to try to match their depth, because that's the only way you're going to have a shot at beating them.
Well, folks, we appreciate you tuning in today. We'll get up with y'all in the quarterfinal rounds for both the men's and women's as they've seen their way through and see how they fare in the middle stage. As Cardell just mentioned, we all know what the expectation is for both sides of this. So we'll see how things play out. See y'all soon.